So I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of music. This is the Blind Math Podcast, guys. Welcome to the show of talking about things that we don't know what we're talking about because none of us know what we're talking about today. But it's a beautiful day. I'm just going to smile until we figure it out. But hey, you can't look at us. You're on your podcast. I'm assuming that if this is a good podcast, we have an opening song that's relating to the things that we're going to talk about. But I don't know what we're going to talk about, so it could be anything. What is the opening song? That's a big question. Well, with us today, we have Absolute Zero, as usual.
Yo.
We have Zach Bischoff, as usual. And we have, not as usual, Tommy Williams.
Yo.
Tommy Williams of...
Earth.
of Earth. Tommy Williams of Earth. It's good for you to be here. We like Tommy Williams. He was
Thank you.
Yes. He was on the last podcast.
It's good
he
to
interrupts
be here
me.
too. Well,
No. I interrupted
That's
you.
fine.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't saying anything. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But we have a lot of things to talk about. Specifically, I really wanted to talk to Zero about the Boondocks. Because did you see the most recent episode?
Yeah.
Dude, it's bad. Like,
I actually liked it.
really?
Yeah. But I know a lot of people share the opinion that it's not good this season.
What did you like about it?
That he sold himself into slavery. The idea of that is funny. He just laughed.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of the new season, so.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You can just...
And I mean, like, the thing
nod.
about the Boondocks is a lot of times it has a lot of episodes that aren't exactly, like, super funny. But
Yeah.
they're, like, more trying to, like... But, I mean, I feel like that you run into that problem when you're... With the South Park runs into the same problem, where sometimes they get caught up in telling the message that they're not necessarily saying a shit ton of jokes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't that I didn't like about it. What I didn't like was it just wasn't the Boondocks. Like, it wasn't the characters that I can't... Like, it didn't feel like them. Like, Huey was very submissive, you know? And Huey's not like that. Huey's a fucking karate... Like, he could fucking kill anybody. He, like...
In season 1. But
I know. And in the comic strip.
But, I mean, the characters evolved as the show's gone on.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, in season 3, he didn't do anything. He didn't do shit in season 3.
Well, he did some stuff. Like,
No, he retired. The first episode, he said that he retired.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything in season 3. He wasn't, like... And I think that's where the character resides. Because you got to consider that, like, one thing about the character is that, you know, he represents, like... the rebellious side of, you know, like McGruger himself, you know what I mean? Or like a black
Aaron
people.
Magruder, the creator?
Yeah. But the thing about it is, like, I think, like, generally, it kind of, like, his docileness has kind of represented that, like, nobody cares anymore. Like, maybe that the creator isn't even that, you know, like, you know, ready to rebel and protest and shit, because nobody cares, man. Nobody wants to protest shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what what I'm missing here is, like, I first got into the Boondocks when it was a comic strip, and I liked it because I related to it a lot. Like, the Boondocks originally was about these boys who were moved from Chicago into the Boondocks.
Yeah.
You know, into the suburbs. They were the only black children in this suburb that they got moved to. They moved from the inner city of Chicago, so they were pretty radical. And I lived in Lakeland, Florida, which was like a redneck town, really. And, you know, one of my neighbors was black and the other one was Latino and the other one was a Catholic. Like, it was like a big mixed, like, area of, like, countryness. And then I moved to Naples, which is like the rich, like, bourgeois part of Florida, with also its really, like, segregatedness. And I just related to, like, this boy who kind of went through... I mean, I know I'm not, like, from a city and, like, the same kind of situation, but, like, I kind of related to his radicalness in this very conservative area. Like, I was very anti-Bush, and, like, I got made fun of on the bus, which is kind of a weird thing to get made fun of for when you're, like, 15. It's like, you didn't vote, you don't like Bush? It's like I'm 15. Like, why do you like Bush? You're 15. Why do you team Bush? Like, you just like Bush. Like, I don't know. It was like a fucking really dumb thing, but
nah, that's the way it is, man.
But I don't know. And Naples is shitty. Like this is something Tommy knows a lot about. Like Naples is kind of
it's a terrible place to be.
Yeah, it's like so bourgeois in certain parts, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a terrible place to grow up in. There's nothing to do there, and it's just a terrible place to live. Unless you just go to the beach all day and don't give a fuck about, like, terrible things that are happening. If you can, like, clear that out of your mind and just go hang out at the beach all day and get drunk or something and go parasailing, then that's fine.
If you can go parasailing.
But other than that, there's really nothing to do there that's under, like, $20 that's, like, accessible to anybody besides, like, super wealthy people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that basically says it. Like, if you're a kid there and you don't want to spend like a whole bunch of money, like you can go to the beach, watch the sunset, and get drunk.
You go to the skate park, and even that is like $10 to get in, or to a show or something like that is still pretty expensive for just like a local show. Everything there is just super overpriced. But
it really is. But unless you go a little bit out of town, if you go to Golden Gate City, where like all the Mexican people work and where they live, and like, you know, not just Mexican, but all kinds of Latino peoples have all kinds of delicious places where you can get tacos with tongue and you know, other delicious things. I'm drawing a blank. You know, cantina, like you can get the best tacos in Naples.
Golden Gate's kind of sketchy too, though.
It's not that well, yeah, maybe sometimes, but it's not that sketchy there.
The first time I got kicked out of my house, I was in Golden Gate, and I went to the skate park there, and within the first, I would say, 10 minutes of being there, 2 separate people like walked up to me, saw that I was just like sitting on a bench, and asked me if I needed drugs.
Did you? What did you say?
Of course.
That's a very American.
It was a really awkward transaction. But I don't know, like, I'm just sitting at a park, like, smoking a cigarette. I don't imagine people like just coming up to me asking me if I need things. It's a little too bold, especially for like that part of town, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, Tommy, like I always say this about Naples, how it's like the most segregated town I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, when I grew up in the South, you know,
Yeah.
when they desegregated that shit, evidently compared to Naples, like, because like Naples, I mean, you're a little brown, to be real. You're I forget, you're Chilean descent, right?
Yeah.
And
Straight out of Chile.
Chile.
Yes, Tommy, straight out of Chile. And I just wondered, like, when you lived in Naples, did you feel any excessive looks or anything like that, or?
Sometimes whenever I walked home from school, like, some people, like, cops would usually stop and be like, "Are you lost? Like, do you know where you're going?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm walking home from school." I'm like, "Is that not allowed?" And they just like watch me do it.
Really? Did that happen a lot?
Like a couple times. Usually just when I was walking by myself, you know, I'd like miss the bus or something, and then I'd have to like walk home. Or yeah, I mean, I'm sure it probably doesn't happen to me as much as like other people. Also, I just really don't give a fuck. Like, if anybody's like trying to like belittle me on any point like that, then I'll just tell them to fuck off, and that'll be the end of that. But I don't know. I feel like in Naples, it didn't really it wasn't too big of a problem because everybody there just hated living there. So like everybody could just bond over that like Naples sucks and you need to blow it up and sink it into the ground, and then we could just get out of there. And
yeah. You have a good attitude about it sometimes, Tommy, and you know, like you kind of like look at it like, hey, there's some good people there. You know, like, and I've met like the good people of Naples. Shout out to the good people of Naples right now. They
all 6 of them.
But like there were some good, like, you know, like every now and again there was a house show that was really awesome because like these people would just live out in the middle of nowhere, and they have like these big ass fucking like like just heathenous shit happening on these properties. You know what I mean? And it's great. You know, it's wonderful. It's a good thing for the community, but those things are few and far between. You know?
Yeah, a lot of the time you just have to make your own fun there, which is really hard to do when you don't have any money and everybody there just hates you because you're a child, or not a child, but you're still in school. And like most people that live in Naples and that community in that area are like 60 and above.
Yeah.
So they don't make anything for people, like entertainment for like young adults there, pretty much.
Yeah, and like I bet a lot of people in Florida who live in these coastal towns where like with huge retirement communities can relate to this. Certain parts, if you don't even have to be like colored, you can just be walking around and young, and a cop will walk up to you, be like, well, you know, what are you doing around here? Are you smoking dope? And probably yes, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why they do it, because like, you know, they have no one else to arrest, you know? Mm-hmm. They're fucking bored. And it sucks. Like, I've been hassled by the cops in Naples. Like, I was fingerprinted once for no fucking reason whatsoever. I was like 16 years old, 15, something like that. I can't remember. And like, they just fucking walked up on us and was just like, "What do you? We're gonna get your fingerprints." And I was too like young and stupid to know I could say no.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, and I was afraid of fucking cops. I was high a little bit, I think. So like.
So now you're in the database.
Yeah, I'm in the database, man.
You can't murder anyone for shit.
Fuck. Damn it.
Just burn your fingerprints off.
Yo, I feel like through taking forensics classes has just made me realize, man, it's really fucking easy to get away with murder as long as you're not retarded. And it helps if you're a little bit psychopathic and you would murder someone that you don't know. You know, so if anyone's trying to, you know, murder someone, just, you know, to know what it feels like, not for like money or anything.
Scientific
you could probably get away with it.
Yeah, for scientific purposes.
Scientific purposes, you know.
For research.
Research.
Gotta know what dried human skin feels like.
Yeah, man.
I bet it's really
like. I bet you every person, like deep inside, wants to know what it feels like to kill someone with their bare hands.
Well, I don't really, because I think it would probably traumatize me for the rest of my life.
Or it would empower you.
No, or empower me to get more traumatized, maybe. Like,
I really don't think about that too much. I would rather just skip that step and go ahead and say, like, let's eat a person and see how that feels. What do you think that tastes like? I'm sure it doesn't taste like chicken.
I heard it's porky. I like porky.
From who? Cannibals?
It depends on...
What is your source?
I'm pretty sure it depends on their diet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like anything else you'd have to
I want to just like eat a vegan.
All right, where did
like,
this guy live? Where did he grow up?
Like, hopefully he was eating, you know, like fresh fruits and stuff, and it like seeps into the meat.
Man,
and it's so flavorful.
Listen, I have my sources. You know, you have your sources. Let's move on.
I don't have my sources. I'm saying, give me these sources. Where is this guy? You have a human meat guy.
Shit. We'll talk about it after the podcast, okay?
Okay.
We'll do that. How about that? All right, so... Man, you know, I think I could probably eat a human, honestly. Like, I heard it, but there's this tribe in South America called the Yanomamo. Anyways, part of their like religion is once someone dies, they cremate them and they take the ashes and they put it in their food.
Well, I could definitely do that. I was talking about like human jerky.
You know, they don't go to human jerky would be.
Because I know there are tribes like that do like. I don't know. I was watching that Ricky Gervais show, An Idiot Abroad, and they like send Carl Pilkington to hang out with like cannibals.
Yeah.
But they never really explained like any of that part, which I thought was probably going to be the most interesting part of that episode.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Most cannibals are kind of done with the cannibal game. Like the cannibal game,
they're over it.
Yeah, you can't really sustain that. I mean, that is a great show, by the way, An Idiot Abroad. But like cannibals, there used to be a lot more of them until like white people came and like was like, hey, how's it going?
But even
tell us about
like
your
I thought that was one of the ones that were like untouched by like outside society or whatever.
They
all just decided not to eat people one day.
There's almost zero tribes that are untouched by society at this point.
Well,
but
yeah.
There had been a couple like I said, the Yanomamo still do that to this day, from what I understand. They're pretty fucking hardcore, those people. Because like the thing is, they're living in a place that nobody's ever going to try to take away from them, because it's just so like deep in the rainforest that like you'd have to be a crazy person to want to live out there, or a Yanomamo. But like, and they have like, man, they're so hardcore. If you learn about these people,
when the global apocalypse comes, they'll be ready.
Dude,
what?
When the global apocalypse comes,
you think global warming will fuck up the rainforest?
I think global warming will fuck up the rainforest.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty worried about Russia.
Yeah, why do you say that?
I'm just worried that this whole Ukraine thing is just like, not that it's that we're gonna go into a war now over them or something like that, but like there's a very real possibility that they have civil war or something, and then it's just like instability right next to Russia.
Yeah,
like, that could be like the seed for future problems.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that shit, man. Like Russia's like, touting their chest out there, and America's like, we're more sanctions. Like I heard recently, Angela Merkel, the president of or chancellor or whatever of Germany, is like now unifying with the United States in our opposition of Russia. Which doesn't that make you fucking feel weird when we're like, hey Germany, we should make a pact against Russia? Yeah. Doesn't that sound like some shit that like we don't want to get involved with?
Yeah, like, it's really like strange, man. We were poking Russia with a stick. I want to poke Russia with a stick.
I don't want.
It's kind of scary. Might do something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Russia, I don't want to live in this world anymore. Whenever I think about politics, this is the solution I get to. You okay there, Tommy? Sound sick?
Yeah, I'm a little sick, but I'm just gonna keep drinking.
Last time we had beer for Tommy. This time he came prepared with his own
32-ounce
beer.
Aim the mic so that we can
what?
It like affects the sound and shit.
Oh, I'll try and not cough into the mic.
Oh no, not cough into it, but I was just saying you had it like aimed out.
Oh, sorry.
I just think it's cool that Tommy brought his own beer this time.
Yeah.
And he brought a 32-ounce, which if you're not from Florida, which I don't know why you would be listening to this and you aren't, but if you're not from Florida, that's the only beer we're allowed to drink. We're not allowed to have 40 ounces. Only 32 ounces.
I mean, it's not too much of a hassle because we're like 15 minutes from the line.
Yeah, here in Tallahassee, where it's basically Georgia. Isn't that weird that our state capital is in Georgia? Isn't that fucking strange?
Pretty close.
Doesn't make sense, really. Like, if you're in Miami, like, you're as far removed from Tallahassee as one Floridian could be.
For sure.
It's a different country over there. It's a different state of mind, everything.
It fucking is, and, like, that's why rednecks have control over our capital, man. Well, I don't know if Rick Scott's necessarily a redneck, but I bet if he was, he would embrace it, He would be like... He's one of those bourgeois rednecks, They have... You know what I'm saying?
He's sitting on that rich man money.
Yeah, well, he's a corrupt asshole. Like, he fucking, like, had that huge healthcare fraud. Let's not talk about Rick Scott. Rick Scott makes me sad.
I'm going to start a punk ska band called Fuck Rick Ska. We're going to dress up as Voldemorts and run around.
Yes, Rick Scott looks like Voldemort. Very much.
It's really annoying now whenever I try and watch my Hulu because they have like ads for him talking about like bullshit stuff that he's trying to do now.
Rick Scott?
Yeah.
What, really? I haven't watched Hulu in a while. What is he?
He's just talking about. I don't know. He's not talking about anything really. He just goes off on his tangents about.
Man, politicians.
I try not to pay attention to it.
Fair enough.
That's why I have no idea what it's about.
He like trailed off. He was like talking about.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean,
something
what do politicians
dickheadish.
really talk about? Like, if you ask them a question and it's a tough question that requires a real answer, they're just gonna pivot the question and answer the question that they want to answer. And like, when I see people doing that, I'm like, all right, like, so is the electorate just fucking retarded? You know what I mean?
Know,
that
right?
they just let
That's what
them
I was
slide
about to
with
say.
that?
Yeah.
And I think that's just what it is, man. The electorate is too stupid.
What was it? The great Vin Diesel once said, "The only good politician is a dead politician."
That's words of wisdom right there. Like, I'm just saying, like, I think the problem is like Americans just don't understand that just because words are coming out of your mouth doesn't mean you're answering a question. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna like promise on any of the things that they made either.
Yeah, well, that's
especially for Florida, since
But
we've
it's
just
so
been
bad.
constantly fucked over forever.
yeah, that's true. Oh, did you hear that they're gonna legalize Charlotte's Web, the strain of marijuana that has no THC in it?
I did.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's I feel like I should be more excited about it. You know.
I feel like
it's
they're just trying to
exciting
find a
for
way to
people
profit
with-
off of.
with seizures.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. People in Florida will stop having seizures. That's a good thing. But I'm selfish, man. I want the one with the THC in it.
You
is all
can
I'm
get the
saying.
one with the THC in it.
I want us to become Colorado. Can we be Colorado, Florida? Can we do that?
No, there's too many fucking douchebags in Florida.
There's good people here.
Yeah, no, there is, but there's too many people who are just like closed-minded and like, you know, drugs
Yeah.
are destroying or whatever.
There's just
whatever.
too many people here. I think
In
you
general.
drive like down the state and you like end up in some random towns where it's all just rednecks, and then like you'll just go to like Miami and it's fucking crazy there, and then you keep driving, you go to Naples and it's all conservatives. Like there's just too many fucking people here that don't know what they want, or if they know what they want, there's just too many people that want different things to be able to do anything. It's like California.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the people in Florida don't even know why they're here. You know? Like, Florida's population is first generation. Almost all of them. I'm like, whenever I tell people in Florida, like, yeah, I'm
I feel like Florida's like the Australia of the rest of the world. It's like where all the like, they just throw people that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, no, well, like, I think in, like, a couple generations it's going to be different. Like, because like I was saying, like, whenever I tell people that I'm, like, fourth generation Floridian, people are just, like, shocked. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, dude, people live in this state. Like, it's been around, like, for 10,000 years of people living here. Like,
Yeah.
like, it shouldn't be that big of a shock that people, like, are...
It is weird though, like especially like when I meet people here from Tallahassee, I'm like, really, you're from here? Like,
Well, Tallahassee's got...
Well,
I mean,
Tallahassee's a lot of people.
Yeah, like,
well, yeah, but I
Tallahassee's got a
don't,
lot more, like,
mm,
generational...
like, converse with most of those people like on a day-to-day basis. Most of the people I know here are from like Naples, or they've like migrated from a different part of the state. Like there's I know a lot of Kansas City people here too.
Well, Tommy, that's because we live in the college world of Tallahassee.
Yep.
You
yeah,
know?
but I mean, I would expect to know more like townies, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, there's some, like, you know...
Yeah, I can name like 4.
Yeah,
that's it.
does Alan count? The beautiful patron
I didn't
owner
know
of
he
the
was
Book
from
Mine.
here, but yeah,
the
he
International
definitely
Book
counts.
Mine has a lot of awesome books. That's where Alan works.
Great
Well,
books,
Yeah, yeah. Great books.
great
Bookie
prices.
book.
Great book, great prices, great place.
Mm-hmm.
The International Book Mine. All right, I don't know why we're pretending like this is a commercial or some shit. But
'Cause
no,
it is
like,
a
you know,
commercial.
Florida, like, it's got a warm place in my heart, and I've always been like very defensive of Florida because, you know, since I moved to Naples, there's always been people who have said like they hate Florida, and it always pissed me off because in Lakeland nobody ever said that shit. Like, people loved Florida in Lakeland, like they were always proud, you know, they into Southern history, or, you know, if you were black you were just into, like, you know, just the culture without the Southern history. But like, and if you were Jewish like me, you know, you just had other stuff going on. But, you know, it was good. Like, it was a good place to live, good place to grow up. And then Naples is full of people who are basically from Massachusetts, New York, Maryland, you know, all the Northeast.
but Florida.
Yeah, everywhere but Florida. And it's, you know, and I'm not trying to sound like one of those people that's like, fuck you, immigrants, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, it's like I'm happy to have people move to Florida, you know, and like start a family, or even not start a family, just start a life.
Yeah.
Like, just accept Florida, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I ask. Like, don't sit around saying, well, New York is so much better. It's like, well, then why did you fucking leave?
Yeah.
Why did you
Yeah.
come here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my biggest pet peeve, when people complain about the city they chose to live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, fucking, you're the one who made these problems for yourself.
I think Florida's a great place to live in, but certain parts I would stay away from. Definitely Southwest Florida I would probably never go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents are moving out of there, so I really
Agree
don't
with
have a
that.
reason to go back to, unless I just visit for like, I could do like 48 hours. But then I'd have to get the fuck out, or else I'd just go crazy. But I feel
Hour 47 is like, dun,
yeah, well,
dun.
yeah,
It's
I'm
like, I
like
gotta get out of here.
in the
I need
middle
to
of
run.
like in the middle of a game or something. Like, oh no, yeah, I gotta go. can't do it. It's like a timer counting down on my watch. Well, I only have 28 minutes left, so we should do something fun.
Better start walking.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would I miss Florida if it sank into the ground? Probably not.
Cue it.
I'm sure there's other Floridas around here, and go find a place to live.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, you've lived in where? Naples, Tampa.
I lived in Naples. I lived in
Tallahassee?
Tampa. I lived in Tallahassee, and I lived in Sacramento, California, for a year in high school.
Right. And like of those, which one did you prefer?
California, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Also, just because California was fucking crazy at that time, and when I was living there, I was in like it was in 10th grade, I think. I want to say 10th grade. And that was when like Arnold Schwarzenegger just became the governor.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
So I could walk outside of my house and like go down to my school and like look down the street, and there's the fucking Capitol building, and I'm like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in that building right now. He's making decisions for this whole fucking state. How fucking retarded is that? Like,
Yeah.
the fucking governor.
Yeah.
And that whole election process was really strange too. Like Gary Coleman was running,
Oh yeah. I do
And some,
remember that was happening.
/current porn star was running.
Mary Carey. Yeah.
There's like so many people that were just like, well, if they're running, I'm gonna run.
Fuck it. I'll do it. Somehow that propelled
Willie
Arnold
Mays. I wish Willie
Schwarzenegger.
Mays ran. I would have voted for him.
It's Willie Mays here with your politics. Are you tired of working?
Well, try cocaine because
And that
that's
was-
what we use.
That
Stay
was the
awake.
thing that, like, California, I really liked about California, because even their, like newspapers and their, like, news sources, like, got the joke that, like, holy shit, we just elected Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor. And then they had, like, that big, like, because it was, like, because Gray Davis got recalled and he was the governor before them.
Yeah.
And that's why they got to, like, put in a new governor. And they were having like a recall vote, and like every single newspaper just had like a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger during a recall, and they're just like total recall, and they just had like so many shitty puns like everywhere, and then like I think it was like his first or second speech he ever made as governor. He was like, Arnold Schwarzenegger came out and he's like, well, I gotta go do this thing. I gotta go to a conference up in like Northern California, but don't be afraid, Sacramentians. I'll be back. And then he just walks off stage.
Yeah, dude. How the fuck did that happen? Like, they just propelled this fucking actor. Like,
It's like Florida,
Hey,
and that's
man,
what I'm saying. Like
that's
Florida
what they
and
did with
California,
Ronald Reagan. Keep in mind.
Florida and California are very similar when it comes to voting, because everybody's so like sporadic and like on different sides, but it's also at
Yeah.
the same time like nobody really knows what's going on. Like there's probably a lot of like election fraud going on. You can't really tell like what's legit and what's not when people just bring you tons and tons of like ballots and you have to sort through them and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every year, every time we have like an election here, it always gets fucked up somehow. And you like read about it later, but at that time it doesn't matter because it's happening.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Like,
Which is fucking stupid. Like
we do have issues with voting in this state. I mean, there's the
this
politics in the
country,
state
man.
is just so fucking high level. Like before I came over here, I was I don't know how this came up, but on YouTube I saw. Have you guys seen that video of Karl Rove having a meltdown after Obama won? Like
No.
Obama like won the election and. Like okay, so they called Ohio for Obama,
Yeah.
and Karl Rove was just like, no, my statistics say that it's not over yet, and that there's still a chance for Romney. And like as the night, like the hours going on, it's getting less and less. He lost, right?
Yeah.
But Karl Rove is just like he doesn't believe it, and you can see in his eyes he just bet on a $20 million horse.
yeah.
And that horse fucking got shot, and like he's just like, no, that's not a real bullet wound. Like my horse doctor says this horse is fine. It's gonna be just all right. And he's freaking out, and he's like floundering. His fat's jiggling. His face is turning red. It's getting bad for Karl Rove. And like all I could think was fuck, man, this is what our politics are. People like white men gambling on horses. Like
I just don't understand how like you can have politicians like that, like Mitt Romney and Ron Paul and Barack Obama and basically any politician, and like okay, so there's like you have an election, and then you have 4 years to find like somebody to either replace or just get the same fucking guy. And like, really, like that's what you came up with? Like, Mitt Romney is like your best bet against this, or like any politician? I'm not just saying just that because I don't like Republicans, but like really, like that's the guy you like. Like this is he's gonna be the one. Like,
and Republicans didn't even like him is the thing. Like that's how our party system is. Like nobody even likes who we vote for. Like I was
he's just on your team, so you have to like him.
Yeah. I was on the Capitol like the other day. Like the Dream Defenders were having their protest in the Capitol, right? And I was walking with Dory, aka Yogurt, to this. Like she was running an errand out there. And we saw these people from the AFL-CIO, like the union people. And, we were, like, chatting with them. And I asked them, like, so how do you feel about Charlie Crist, who is the former Republican governor and now Democratic nominee for governor? Well, presumed Democratic nominee for governor. Whatever.
No, he's
going to get it. And, like, the thing, and I was like, so are you going to vote for him? And, like, they were like, I prefer to think of it as I'm voting against Rick Scott.
Yeah, I mean that's how everybody sees that though.
Yeah,
too.
And it's like fucking Charlie Crist,
Because Charlie Crist was not a very good dude when he was in office,
man.
but
he
like
cut
Rick Scott is so much worse.
Yeah, they both cut educate. Like they're both fucking assholes, man. And like the thing is, like
fuck Rick Scott coming soon.
People are gonna bite the bullet and they're gonna vote for Charlie Crist, man. And he might get elected too.
I'm sure he probably will be.
Because, like, the thing is, people hate Rick Scott so much, and there's still, like, some Republicans who like Charlie Crist who will vote for him.
I just don't understand, because whenever I walk... Well, I mean, I guess I do have more of an alternative group of people that I hang out with, but whenever I walk around and just talk to people, I don't... There's never anybody that's like, yeah, I voted for that guy. Like,
for Rick... Yeah, dude, I don't know any like, redneck white people that will admit to voting for Rick Scott. Like, everyone who voted for Rick Scott was like, oh, man, I didn't even look at who was running that year. Like...
Yeah, and he only won by like 1,000 votes.
Right, and it was the year that the Tea Party came out. That was the year the Tea Party came out, and they won everything else. Dude. Republicans won everything else.
It's just like... I was like, man, my vote doesn't matter, and then that shit happens, and then you're feeling guilty and shit, and it's just like, man, I don't know how happy I would have been with, what's her name, Alex
Sink.
I
would be much happier than with Rick Scott.
But it would have probably worked out better than Rick Scott. I don't understand why Rick Scott denied the money for the bullet train thing that they're trying to do.
They've been doing that for like years, though. Like,
yeah,
I remember when I was like,
he's like, I want to, the federal government has too big of a deficit. I won't accept the money to build infrastructure. Like,
I know,
what?
dude.
That doesn't even make any sense.
And it would have made so much sense.
Did you guys ever,
too.
when you were in like, I want to say like middle school, maybe even earlier? Did you like when you were at like whatever school you were at? Because I was in Naples at the time, at some really shitty like private school, but we would have like elections and you could vote for, this was like when Clinton and Ross Perot were like running, and you could vote for them, or you could vote for Bush or whoever the fuck it was, because it's usually always Bush. You could vote for them, or you could vote for whoever you wanted, and you could like fill out the ballot and it'd have the questions, and was like, do you want a magnet train that goes from Miami to like Orlando? And I was like, fuck yes, I want that. Like, I remember they were asking like back then, like if you want it, and like still hasn't happened.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, it would make like I think the plan is Orlando to Miami or to Tampa, because
I mean, I'm sure it's changed since
and then
like
they were
10 years ago.
They were gonna have one that went from Miami up to like Boca or something like that. Like just went up the East Coast. And
I mean, either way,
they fucking should, man. It would make so much goddamn sense. Like it would save. It would make a lot of, and the thing is, like, they're like, well, what if it costs money? It's like, well, it's infrastructure. It costs money. Like, that's what the government is so stupid. Like, the most obvious things that they're supposed to do never get done.
Well, I don't think it's like that. They're just like being coy about it. I'm sure they know what they're doing. They're just assholes.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they just don't know what they're doing. Like,
no, it's just politics.
A lot of them are like incompetent. Though.
It's like, hey, if you do this for me, then I'll vote on your thing, and then like we can come to an agreement, and I'll buy you some chocolates and a beer afterwards. And
yeah, but I just really think that a lot of these politicians are just generally just not smart enough.
I really think they just don't give a fuck unless they're like getting shit out of the deal that they.
Because it's just like. I'm looking at like we have some like existential like crises. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That are like looming on the horizon. Like I'm wondering, especially with
As
the
Tommy opens another
antibiotics.
beer.
Like who this week they released a report that's like, yeah, we're moving to like a post antibiotic society.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
Antibiotics
like,
aren't being
drug
effective
resistance
anymore.
bacteria have basically spread across the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's leading the charge on that's making this happen, I mean, we always knew that it was going to happen, but it's just happening so much faster than we thought. And a lot of what it is because, our food production is made, in these mass, factory farms that they just have animals too close to fucking together.
Yeah.
Really? There's a connection there?
Yeah, because since they're so close together and their feces are like, they're literally covered in feces and shit, all the time, they give them antibiotics so that they don't get sick.
But are they the same kind of antibiotic? Well, I guess it's a...
Yes. Yeah, it's the same antibiotics that we use.
Sure.
So basically they're making new drug-resistant bacteria while, producing meat. And that's like one of the main things that's leading to this. And we're just like, wouldn't it be easy to, I don't know, make that illegal somehow so we can, not have that happen?
Well, like party politics is all just like doing favors for people.
Because like, if you like see this coming, like there's just gonna eventually there's just gonna be some type of like mass bacterial outbreak.
Well, all right. So I think let's not derail like the main purpose of what we're talking about, because like here's the thing about what you're saying, Zero, about antibiotics. Like, it's true. Like, we take too many antibiotics. Like, sometimes you need to just deal with being sick. Because like if your bodies are getting immune. Like the other day I was over at talking to Parker, and he's like on antibiotics, and he's like drinking, and like they're not taking effect, and he like forgot to take them one day, so now they're just not even working at all, and he's getting more sick. And I kind of want to be like, dude, do you understand antibiotics are like not permanent? Like, you got to enjoy them while you have them. But anyway, the main purpose of what I'm thinking about, what I'm trying to say about this whole antibiotic and the government not doing shit about it thing is the government acting shitty because they're stupid, or are they acting shitty because they are shitty? Because they see people that they don't like, and they are just like, well, they're not me. Fuck it.
No, it's two things. One, they're shitty. Well, not they're shitty, but one, they're corrupt, and the second thing, they're incompetent.
Yeah. Like, do you think Rick Scott...
The two things is going to destroy us.
Do you think Rick Scott, when someone comes up to him and is like, people are hungry, we got to raise, minimum wage or something like that, and this is going to work. Like, this minimum wage thing, it's going to work. Like, just as an example, some like economist is like, this is like the perfect thing we could do right now. It might not be like this in real life, but let's say it is. Like, this is a perfect thing we can do right now. All you got to do is raise the minimum wage, and like a million people are going to eat and be happy, and then he has his other peoples who are like, if you raise minimum wage, we're going to lose like $5 million on this here business, boy. You better not do that, or we're going to get you unelected. Do you think that's happening? Or do you think it's like Rick Scott has his opinions already, and someone comes up to him and says, we need to raise our minimum wage, and he's like, well, you're wrong, I don't want to listen to you, and he just does his own thing?
I think it's a combination of both. I think what it is most politicians, when they get into the business, they're not really looking to help out anybody aside from themselves, or if they are, everybody else kind of has that. They have their own agendas, and so it's all just like pretty much a game of like, well, if you vote for my bill on this thing, then I'll help you get elected for this thing. And it's just kind of like one of those things to the extreme that it just gets too fucking ridiculous to even think about.
Yeah.
It's like a giant fucking game of like, I don't know, Jenga, where like everything is just about to just tip over, but like somehow you just keep it going forever until like
it eventually tips over.
Yeah, but the thing is, the one of the big problems is the party system as an institution is designed to pick douchebags, because the only thing the parties care about is your ability to raise money. Like, that's the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
You will be selected to run for whatever you want to run for if you can raise enough money.
Yeah.
So, and those people, aren't kind of indebted to the people who give them money. So, I mean, it's not a surprise that, we don't matter because we didn't fucking elect them. Like, basically, the politicians are really accountable to their fundraisers. They're not accountable to their electorate.
I feel like a lot of politicians, though, what they try and do is because, like, they get elected into office and then they realize that there's, like, a big set of rules that they have to go by.
Yeah.
Or they're not going to be a politician anymore for long. But then there's also just, like, that game that you have to play of just, like, okay, so there's really something I really want to do, so should I just say fuck all these people and just do it? And either way, like, it'll probably turn out or it'll probably work out. Because, like, I know, like, my uncle, Robert Williams, he's a labor lawyer in Tallahassee. And he's also responsible for, like, one of the last bills they just passed for... He raised the, like, minimum wage from, like, up by, like, 7 cents or something. They just passed that, like, a few years ago. Yeah. But also that was, like, a lot of, like, he had to just, like... You just got to, like, connect with people in your system that that are, like, prominent people in Tallahassee and tell them, like, this is what you want to do. And if they say no, then you have to, like, be like, all right, well, I could either just say fuck them or I could just not do this. And, like, a lot of that is politics, too. It's just a gamble on, like, well, can I get away with this? And, like, how many people am I going to fuck over doing it?
And you can't get away. Well, you can is the thing.
A lot of the time, but, yeah, you'll still get, like, the repercussions of that later.
Yeah. It's just so depressing when I think about politics sometimes. I get back
It's really shitty.
I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Yeah. It is a really shitty thing really to talk about and think about.
But it's just like our political, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so scary because you see the problems that we're gonna address, and it's just like we can't really address any of the problems until it's a fucking crisis.
I think America would be fine if we had even like any kind of multi like party system, anything besides just picking one or the other.
Two,
like we have like the alternate, what is it, like the no party status, no party affiliation, which is now a party. Independent is now a party.
Is
so
it?
Like
no, well, like it's
if you
like,
don't want to be affiliated, you have to put no party, like instead of just I, which used to be I don't like anything. So yeah, that's like the third party. But like I feel like if we even had just like two others, like let's just get a fucking socialist politician. Like why not?
Man, it's...
But yeah, people will see that and they'll be like, well, what the fuck is that about? And I feel like if we do that, then more and more people will be like, oh, well, like I don't know, like I clearly don't like these two, so I'm just gonna go off on my other thing. And then if you just do that, then more and more people will want to like run for politics that aren't on the same fucking thing all the time.
Well, one solution I've heard people say is first past the post voting, which is like basically you get to vote for like 3 choices. So you get, like you'll say like let's say there's like you want to vote for Barack Obama, the socialist candidate, and the libertarian.
But if I had that choice, then I wouldn't want to vote for any of the original 2. I would just vote for like 3 random.
But the reason why you do that is because if you see, like, let's say the one you really want is the socialist candidate, but you see that like he's probably gonna lose, and you really don't want Romney to win.
Yeah.
You know, so you can still vote for the socialist candidate as number 1, and then Obama as 2 for safety. You know what I mean?
I guess I could see that, but that's still just I don't know.
And like that's I mean I've heard of that. I don't know if what
I feel like if
America's got
we
so many problems,
introduced like that kind of a system,
we need to get rid of so many things in our voting system. It's fucking ridiculous. Like let's fucking like electoral college, like
of course,
are the 2 parties that we're trying to fucking destroy.
And that's another like we need congressional term limits. That ain't gonna happen because guess who gets to decide congressional term limits? Congress.
Yep.
Like, they're not going to fucking do that.
We have to have like a constitutional convention. That's the only way.
I mean, I'm not saying socialism
get some of these shit like.
We might have to start a revolution, guys.
I'm not saying socialism is a good thing, but it is. And like I feel like more and more people, especially if they had more and more choices besides just Democrat, Republic. If you had Democrat, Republic, Socialist, and then like fuck it, let's just throw Libertarian in there. Like more and more people would be not as opposed to just voting for just Democrat and Republican. They'd be like, oh well, if they have like a party, why don't we have a party? And then we could actually have like a multi-party system.
Yeah,
and
that'd be
that
nice.
would be more sporadic and like definitely skew all of the voting. But I feel like it would be more truthful than what it is now, where it's like you either vote for this guy or you vote for this guy, and basically what most people are trying to do is just not vote for the evilest dude.
Well, you know what comes with the multi-party system is some radical shit, though. Because like,
of course.
Like, have you heard of the BNP?
The what?
The BNP. It's the British National Party.
I just tried to listen into my microphone. No, I haven't heard. What is that?
It's like the and you know, because in Britain they have a multi-party system, obviously, because they have Parliament, and this British National Party, which is ran by this guy Nick Griffin, who has shaken hands and hugged, you know, Klan members, you know, been friendly with Klan members. They had like a seat in Parliament, I believe, and like, you know, they actually can affect policy, but it, you know, pretty much anything they say is immediately marginalized by all the other parties, because like, you know, like nobody wants to be, like associate with the BNP.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not gonna happen now, but if you just have that party, like the Communist Liberation Party or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like, people will see that, and if it's on the ballot every year, people will keep seeing that and be like, well, what is that? They're like, I'm not saying just vote
just
communist, but I'm just saying, like, if you have more parties, people will also be. Well, yeah, fuck that. Like, that's not gonna win. Like,
well, I'm just saying, like, but they won't call it fascist. They'll call it something else.
The
probably.
bro party.
Yeah, it'll be the bro party. Like, that's probably seriously, that's gonna happen. The bro party. It's gonna be real if we have this, because that's part of the multi-party system.
We can just fight them then.
Can I? All right, I have to tell this story about Tommy. I think Tommy knows what story I'm about to tell.
I think I know too.
One time, Tommy has a long history with bros.
I don't.
Would you call yourself a bro vigilante, or an anti-bro vigilante rather?
No, I would just call myself a drunk that just hates humans that are obnoxious.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. One time,
belligerently obnoxious.
I live in a proximity to this fraternity with the ones with the Greek letters on the
one with
top.
The fucking cannons.
Cannon.
They have fucking cannons outside of their house.
Yeah,
wonderful.
They do. And like, supposedly, if you ask them why is the cannon pointed that direction, they say it's pointed towards FAMU.
Yeah.
Isn't
these kids need to die.
These kids are.
I'm just kidding.
I hate to point that out, but anyways, so all right, one night I was hanging out with Tommy, and we were drinking a lot, and Tommy was drinking the most.
Drink a lot.
And we were just hanging outside, like, I think, maybe having some cigarettes. And Tommy, I don't know what started this, but he started. I don't know. All of a sudden, I heard him go, bros, 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 just kind of chanting bros over and over again, and like.
Well, it's like what you do when you see a bunch of people just being ridiculous. You're just like, dudes in the corner, dudes at the gas station.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bros everywhere.
I'm right there with you. And like, he went up to the street. He walked up to the street. He took off his shirt and started beating on his chest like a fucking gorilla.
Well, I remember I made a line in the street. I remember that. I did. I marked a line in the street.
Oh, I don't remember. And you were like,
I was like, if any of you guys want to come past this line, I'm ready.
Yeah. And all right, I know none of you guys can see Tommy right now, but Tommy, how tall are you? Like 5'1"?
Like 5'5".
5'5". Oh shit, I'm sorry, but he's not a tall guy. Like Tom.
No, definitely not.
He's got a beer belly, but like he's got the fierceness of a fucking tiger. Cause like he was just like. Bros, and like all the bros came outside and they saw Tommy. They were pointing at him and they were like, what are you doing? Like, they were making their bro call, like, huh? Because they were drinking too, I guess.
They were legitimately scared though. They sent like a party of like 5 people to
Yeah,
come
they
talk
sent
to
the
me.
president of the bros. They sent the like, it's like I'm the president
his
of the
minions.
bros. And, yeah,
to come talk to
They
me
were
in
like,
the
"I
middle
wanna
of
make-
a street.
I want to make sure everything's
That's
okay.
interesting.
And these girls came by and were like, you guys need to stop fucking with them. And like, I don't know, it was weird. It was
No,
strange.
these girls came by and like I was yelling at this whole house this whole time of like fucking like 30 bros, and these girls came by and they saw me yelling, and like you guys just sitting there, and they're like, yeah, what he said. And they're just like, we're hopped on board, and I got that girl's number, which I later lost, but
No.
whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
they
she was gonna start giving.
no,
you
they were like
information
on our
the
side.
street.
They were just like, yeah, fuck these guys.
yeah, we almost started an anti-bro riot. Is what it sounds like. It would have been good.
Right
if
at the like frat
That would
house
be
of their
hilarious.
house. We took it to them.
Yeah, no, bros are fucking cunts, man. They fucking annoy me. Like, bro, they're just really fucking stupid. Like, is all. Like,
I don't know. I mean, they're like the amalgamation of all the rapists on campus.
yeah, they are. Like fucking Pike, the bro house Pike. Every year they have a date rape accusation or two. And like, there's hundreds. I think that it's a big fraternity. There's like 100
Yeah.
of them or something. So like,
Pike Street, yeah.
but it's like 1 in 100 of them like date rape someone, and they just fucking like, well, sorry. Like, it's just
Sorry.
it's part of like their membership dues is like the lawyer fees they need for the date rapes that they cause. And it's fucked up, man. That like that's allowed. Like that
Yeah.
fucking fraternity still exists. Like, I'm sorry, 1 in 100 date rapes per year. Not okay with that, in my opinion. My friends have 0 date. Have you guys ever date raped anybody?
No.
No. See, 0% of this
I've
fraternity.
heard about it though in Naples, like especially at that Mercado place that they just opened up. They've had a lot of problems with that.
With date rape? Isn't that like a bougie hotel? Like, isn't that like for the
Mercado is
super
not a hotel. It's like a brand new place that they put right across
Oh
from
yeah,
Pelican
that's
Bay.
oh fuck. I'm sorry. That's like a
It's the one where you can
It's
go
like
to
a
the movie
strip-
theaters and they have a bar there,
yeah, that's right.
and every seat is like a fucking lounge chair, and it's like has
Yeah.
heated seats and like leather chairs and shit.
Uh,
And you can like order like the top of wine they have or something. It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. You
yo,
spend like $40 on a ticket.
speaking of date rape, have anybody heard about this alcohol?
What is it?
It's powdered
Oh,
alcohol.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
that you can snort.
You can't snort it, can you?
Is it
Yeah,
good?
you can snort it.
Then you get
Have you
drunk?
done it?
No, I haven't done it.
Wait,
hasn't-
snorting it
I
gets
thought
you
you were
drunk?
saying you have
Yes.
some.
No way.
Nah, they're still waiting to get approved by the FDA.
Oh man.
So
Well,
what? You
apparently-
just put water?
Well, appar-
Snortable alcohol. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
That's
but
gonna bring America into a really dark place.
Yeah,
Oh shit!
Exactly.
It's gonna be like super jail soon.
and then you can fucking like, you could 100% rape the shit out of somebody by like, making their alcohol
Yeah, I know,
more
right?
alcoholic.
Yeah, no, this is powdered alcohol. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you
I
could
bought
put
it
it-
for you.
But you just put it in like regular water, or you just put it in more
Put in
alcohol.
anything. Literally
Dude,
anything.
Shit, you could put in more alcohol, couldn't you?
You could put it in more alcohol.
That's
You-
pretty exciting.
I don't know. I just want to snort it.
Dude, yeah, like, it'd be like, here
Like if that's what they're advertising, I'd be like fuck yeah, let's try it.
dude, you go to the bar and you ask to snort a line of powdered alcohol, and like the bartender's a wee sketchy, and he like cuts in like some, I don't know, like fucking like horse tranquilizer or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
you just or you just have some of that and you just like sprinkle
Like-
it in right before they look, and then, yeah, you're good.
I'm just like, man, like I see that and I'm like, man, how the fuck is alcohol legal and cocaine and
right?
heroin aren't? Like, it makes no sense.
Well, yeah,
Dude.
like the fact that you're gonna be snorting it also is just like, oh yeah, what else do you snort? Like, what else do you guys like sniff? Like glue and cocaine? Like what? Like, obviously that's what they're trying to go for. Is like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can like do this, and then like while you're doing that, you should probably just do a line of coke.
And it's good. It's good for
Health.
the army, and it's good for. You know what? I'm sorry. Powdered alcohol isn't enough. I want alcohol I can put in a dropper and put into my eyeball. That's what I want. I
mean,
want
it's not
alcohol that it's in a
LSD.
syringe I can insert into my veins on my arm and get off. That's
you
what
don't
I
wanna
want.
be Steve-O.
What is Steve?
Have you seen? I don't know. It was like before Jackass. Steve-O had this thing where he like injected himself with like a vodka IV,
Oh.
and he just gets
word.
so fucked up.
Oh, an IV? That's not
A
a
vodka IV.
Like that's all it is. It's fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous. And he just is walking around, and he's just like he's like walking around this hospital, and he just keeps falling over. And he's so fucking drunk.
That's so ridiculous.
Of course, he would do it though.
Yeah, no, dude, like it's
Yeah.
weird. You know, he's all sober now. When you see him, it's like shit.
Yeah, he apparently hangs out in like in Florida a lot, and
Yeah.
he like does like comedy tours now because a lot of my
Oh,
friends
wow.
from like south of Florida have like, oh, I was at some weird comedy club and I ran into Steve-O.
Yeah, no,
he's
I heard
completely
he,
sober and really weird.
yeah, I've heard. I've met like a couple people who have met him like in Florida. It's
Yeah.
weird. He just like shows up to parties like but I don't think he did, like I've heard stories about him getting really fucked up at parties. I don't think he does that anymore though.
No, I don't think so. No.
Man,
But yeah.
what the world needs now, Steve. You know, it's like the end of the podcast, and we didn't mention any music. So I said in the beginning that we were gonna play some music, but I don't have anything.
Man, fuck that.
I guess we can
don't
just
have to
put
mention
something
music.
We'll just put something else maybe.
Trying to like make us one dimensional and shit.
Yeah, I want us to only have a dimension. I'd prefer length. I don't know how you feel about would you prefer like depth or width maybe?
Well, I'll go with depth.
Depth.
He's a width guy. So
I'm
we're all at
personally I'm
odds.
throwing in for length. Maybe next time we'll do a width podcast. It'll still be one dimensional, but it'll be a different dimension. Be a good
Yeah.
one.
What does that entail?
What? Changing the dimension?
No width.
Width, it like so from your left hip to your right hip is your width,
Yeah.
and from your scrotum to your head is your length,
Yeah.
and from your scrotum to your buttock, like the peak of your buttock is your
What does
depth.
this have anything to do with what we're talking about?
You
Because
just got too
personally, I
metaphoric,
prefer
man.
length.
Yeah.
But
I want a fourth spatial dimension, or probably a second or third time dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to go perpendicular in time to the dimension that we're moving on now.
Yeah. I would like to go perpendicular. That'd be nice. I'd like that.
But yeah. All right. Guys.
All right. So heart attack, heart disease.
I'm going backwards. Artery starts to squeeze me to figure out more shit to say.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
we can make up another rhyme. I guess. When there's blind math, you find your way back. When there's blind math, you can't find your way back. We could just sit awkwardly in silence until
did
we
you
can
guys
say
have
that.
anything else you wanted to say
No, not
or
really.
ask?
Oh, let me ask Tommy. What's your favorite kind of balloon? No. I take that back. What's your favorite kind of berry? Blackberry, blueberry.
Very white.
Very white. Well, I think that's been a good podcast.
Okay. Personally, I would go
Very
with wild
white.
berries, but
No, I like blueberries.
yeah.
Blueberries and muffins is probably the most delicious thing I've ever had.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking banging, isn't it? Like a nicely made blueberry muffin, like
Yeah, not like the shit that you get at Publix, like a legit blueberry
Yeah.
muffin where the
Yeah.
like
The cap
fucking
is,
muffin
like,
top is
puffing
like
out. Yeah.
twice the size as the
Oh.
like little muffin cup.
Dude,
Yeah.
muffin tops are the shit, dude.
Stack that with blueberries and some sugar, you got a fucking that's your day. Like
Dude, that's all you need, man. You can
yeah,
survive.
seriously, I've like,
That's-
eaten just a blueberry muffin for like half a day before because
You'd gain like 100
there was
pounds.
a place in Naples that actually used to sell them right next to the hospital called Aunt Something's Sweet Shop, and they would just have like these fucking giant muffins. It was off of like Airport in Pine Ridge, I think.
That sounds beautiful. Blueberry muffins, man.
Sweet Carolines, I think is what it was called. I don't
Really?
know if it's still there.
Yeah, there's good food out there. Man, let's... is there a blueberry wrap?
Yeah,
No.
This year?
I'm sure. Let's do it.
Blueberry wrap. I need school Harry's chap. I need to feel like I'm eating a blueberry muffin.
I refuse to be a part of this.
I'm like looking at Zero like, come on, Zero. I know you have the skills. Can't force me to do this. I'm not a rapper.
Got a blueberry wrap.
Let
Would
us
rather eat a
rap.
mushroom cap. You know that.
Yeah,
I'm done.
that was a
That's
good.
it.
That was a good attempt. How do you say blueberry muffin in Spanish?
I do not know how to say blueberry muffin in Spanish. I know how to say blue.
Azules.
Azul berry muffin. Well, no, that was like French.
You're not even trying. Are we still on the pod? I don't even know if we're editing this part out or not. I feel like we might. I don't know.
I don't even know anymore.
Hey, let's just do another podcast.
I have
now.
like
ready, set, go. Welcome to the Blind Math Podcast. Over.
All right.